So here's an interesting one about a guy who dumps and abandons his pregnant fiancée after he discovers that she not only lied about being on the pill, but also sabotaged his protection in order to get pregnant. And now 17 years later, guess who's back in his life, etc., etc. Title: Fiancé betrays man by sabotaging protection. 17 years later, the daughter wants to meet him. Says here, 17 years ago, I was engaged to a woman who became pregnant. Now it's important to understand that I have never wanted to have children, and this was something I had been upfront about and honest with my fiancé at the time. She had told me that she understood and felt the same way. Bull freaking crap. How many guys have heard the same thing? Oh, that's okay, you don't want to have kids, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. I'm on the pill, no big deal. And then guess what? We both always used protection, and we had an agreement to terminate in case of an accident ever happened. When she got pregnant, however, she refused to keep her word, and I soon learned that her promise were far less genuine than what she led me to believe. Turns out she stopped taking birth control and purposely sabotaged our protection. This is why I tell guys all the time, never believe the I'm on the pill crap. I don't care how long you've known her, who she is, ever. And always provide your own protection, dispose of your own protection, etc., etc. And do not accept the protection she gives you. Because again, don't let her pause anywhere near your box of condoms. Apparently she believed I'd change my mind if it actually happened. But instead, I immediately broke things off with her, and 6 months later, I moved from the East Coast to a new job on the West Coast. Well, that didn't exactly go the way she expected, now did it? And nobody can blame this guy. Like I said, that was 17 years ago, and for the last 17 years, I've had absolutely no contact with her daughter, and minimal contact with my ex. I send my child support payments every month, but I've had no interest in ever meeting her. And that is his business. But I want to point something out. He's been sending child support for 17 years. 17 years. So you guys do dating and relationships and hookups and all that, remember that. The next time you're thinking, I'll pull out, I want it to feel good. No. Ain't going to feel good for 17, 18 years of child support payments. Just remember that. I even requested that my ex not give her any information regarding me or how to contact me. My ex did send me a few pictures of her when she was young, but she stopped after I told her I didn't want to see them. Okay, again, he's going to trust his ex here to keep her word. Well, she didn't keep her word again, because 2 months ago, I received an actual handwritten letter from her addressed, "Hi, Dad." And when I read that, I honestly felt sick to my stomach and immediately threw the letter away, not even bothering to read it. I never replied or responded to it. Well, it turns out the letter was a very heartfelt request from her to attend her high school graduation. Oh, for goodness sake. She's never seen this guy her entire life, and this is like something out of these sappy Hallmark movies. Now, in fairness, it is not the girl's fault that, that she doesn't have a dad in her life and all that. It isn't her fault. And she could be the greatest kid in the world, and I hope she is. But still, this guy has a right to privacy, and he meant that he doesn't want anything to do with this girl. And she shouldn't take it personally, even though she would. But thanks to good old Mom, look what Mom did. She described in detail how much it would mean to her and told me that she's always been into programming and will be attending one of the top computer science programs in the country for college. I work as a software engineer, or at least I did before I moved up in the company. So apparently her mother had told her how she must have gotten that talent with computers from me. Like I said, I never read the letter, so I didn't know this beforehand, but I found the letter in my home office trash can and have read it now. I didn't read the letter initially. I didn't know about the graduation. Obviously, I did not attend. He doesn't have to attend. He made the choice a long time ago that, look, okay, you got pregnant, you lied to me about being on the pill, you sabotaged the protection, I'm out of here, and made it clear. You got the payments from me for 17 years. I don't want anything to do with the girl. She's a wonderful person. I wish her well, but that's it. But nope. His ex couldn't have it that way. My ex called me the day of the ceremony and told me I had broken my daughter's heart by not attending. But I obviously had no idea what she was talking about. I told her as much, and she called me a deadbeat and an a-hole before hanging up. He's the a-hole. Who's the one that lied to him about being on the pill? Who's the one that sabotaged his protection just as an extra insurance to get pregnant? Who did all that on purpose? and he's the a-hole? Who's the one that didn't respect his wishes to leave him alone and not give the girl his contact information? Again, her. So she's the a-hole. He made it clear he didn't want anything to do with the girl. I got annoyed and vented to one of my friends with the situation, and they kind of agree with my ex. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole. I just said why she's the a-hole. You have your right to make this choice. The problem is when you ask other people things like this, most people are going to think in the way of the narrative, a way television and movies tells us how to be. Okay? Again, I'm sure this is a great girl, and if she's sad because she doesn't know her dad, her biological dad and everything, okay, you can feel bad for her. But then guess what? This guy, he has a right to be happy too. He has a life too. And he made it clear, no freaking kids. Now that girl's gotten support for 17 years, and probably one more year to go, but that's that. And what are you willing to bet? Maybe, just maybe, the mother cooked this thing up in hopes that this guy can help pay for her to go to college. Think about that one. You know, nothing about letters from the girl or anything like that until now, when she's probably saying how much it's going to cost to send the girl to college or whatever. Like, oh, send your dad a letter and maybe we can get some money out of him. You have to really wonder, you know. But no, this guy's an a-hole, and this guy handled this like a boss. I wish the daughter well. Really, I do. But if this guy listens to anybody else and goes and has a relationship with her when he doesn't want to, that's just, you know, it'd be a big mistake. And I'm simply too cynical at this point in my life to think that there is an ulterior motive here to probably get money for college or something like that. Or a wedding one day or some bullshit like that. Now, if this was a movie, he'd go meet her and they'd have a wonderful relationship, and he'd be so happy he did that, and so happy that she messed with the protection, and so happy that she betrayed his trust about sending the daughter the contact information. But that's a movie. In reality, the guy want to be left alone. So I wish this guy the best. Hope he makes the right decision.